God used 35 to 40 different authors, 3 different languages, and unbeknownst to them, they're gradually unfolding a picture of Jesus. It's like every book in the Old Testament, every chapter in the Old Testament is a little piece of the jigsaw. And in many cases, the prophets who wrote, all they saw was their little piece. And they say, well, here you go. But God's compiling it. God's making sure none of it's lost. In Genesis chapter 3, Jesus is the seed of the woman. He's the virgin-born person who will come without a human father. So he would not have a sin nature, so he could take our sin upon himself. In Genesis 22, Jesus is the ram that was stuck in the thicket. So Abraham did not have to sacrifice his own son. So he's our substitute who died for us. In the book of Exodus, in Exodus 12, Jesus is the Passover lamb. The Passover lamb was killed and the blood was put on the door of the house in the shape of a cross. And when judgment came by, if the blood was seen, the judgment would pass over. And so Jesus is the one who, when it's time for us to be judged, he sees the blood of the cross, he passes over us in judgment. In Leviticus chapter 1, Jesus is our burnt offering. The burnt offering is the one offering which was laid on the altar and every part of it was burnt up. There was nothing left on the grill. So Jesus is our burnt offering. He put himself on the altar. He gave his all. He surrendered all. So we do not have to give our all. We don't have to surrender all. We don't have to give our life to him. He gave his for us. And there's nothing left on the grill for us to do. In the book of Numbers, Jesus is that shining cloud that led Israel in the daytime. And he's the pillar of fire that led them at night. And so, what is Jesus for us? He's the one who directs us when we can see what's happening. And he's the one who directs us when it seems dark to us. In Deuteronomy, Jesus is our place of refuge. When the world is barreling down on us, our problems are barreling down on us, we can always hide in him and he will keep us safe. In the book of Joshua 24, Jesus is the one who tells us, don't try to serve me, just yoke yourself to me. I don't tell you what to do, I do it, and I want you to come along for the ride. Don't serve, yoke. In the book of Judges, Jesus is the one who continually rescues us from trouble we cause ourselves. It's his hesed mercy. And what triggers his hesed mercy is simply cry out for help. In the book of Ruth, Jesus is our kinsman redeemer. He redeems us from the curse of the law and the fallen world. And he becomes our brother by adoption. In 1 and 2 Samuel, Jesus is the descendant of David. He's the one who crashed into the line of humanity, even took human DNA upon him, so that he literally could take our sins in his flesh. In 1 and 2 Kings and 1 and 2 Chronicles, he's our king. He is the Lord of our life. We don't make him Lord of our life. He is the Lord of our life. In Ezra, Jesus is the one who comes into us and restores our joy. In Nehemiah, Jesus is the one who is our fortress. He is the one who puts walls of protection around us to protect us against the world and against Satan. In Esther, his name, God's name, is never mentioned. But Jesus is there in Esther. In Esther, Jesus is the one who watches over us and delivers us even when we are completely indifferent to him. In the book of Job, Jesus is our Redeemer who will stand on the latter day upon the earth in fellowship with us. In the book of Psalms, in Psalm 23, Jesus is the one who shepherds me. He guides me. He nourishes me. And in Psalm 22, Jesus is the one who was forsaken by his own Father, so we will never be forsaken. In Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, Jesus is our wisdom. In the Song of Solomon, Jesus is our bridegroom who's waiting to shout our name so we can come to the feast. In Isaiah 53, Jesus is our suffering servant. He suffered not only the penalty for our sins, He suffered the penalty of loss of fellowship. So we will never experience loss of fellowship. And in Isaiah 52, Jesus is the one who will return for us, not to suffer, but to reign with us as King. In Jeremiah chapter 6, Jesus is the balm in Gilead. Jeremiah chapter 8 says that there are no balms available in the realm of humanity. But in Jeremiah 46, Jesus says, I'm the balm. And a balm was a soothing ointment. So Jesus is the one who soothes our raw emotions when they most need it. In Lamentation, Jesus is the one whose loving kindness never ceases. A great song was written on the basis of Lamentations 3, Great is thy faithfulness. In Lamentations chapter 3, Jesus is the one whose loving kindness toward us never ceases. His tender mercies are renewed for us every morning. There is not even a shadow of turning with Him. In Ezekiel, Jesus is Yahweh, riding on the cherubs. He's on the throne. And the reason He's riding on the cherubs is that He sees the direction we're going and He rides His cherubs ahead to where we're going to prepare it for us. In Daniel, Jesus is that mystery man who appears in the fiery furnace, meaning in our fiery furnaces, He's right there with us. In Hosea, Jesus is the one who leads us not by compulsion, not by giving commands or orders. In Hosea 11, we learn that Jesus is the one who guides us with cords of love. In Joel, Jesus is the one who pours out His Spirit lavishly upon us. And in Amos, Jesus is the shepherd who snatches the lamb from the mouth of the wolf. So Jesus is the one for us who snatches us out of Satan's grasp and the hold the world has on us. In Obadiah, Jesus is the one who delivers us and directs our focus to Mount Calvary, the cross. In Jonah, Jesus is the one who spent 3 days and 3 nights in the tomb and was resurrected so we could be justified, declared not guilty. In Micah, Jesus is the one who, although He's the eternal God, was born as a human being in Bethlehem of Judea. In Nahum, Jesus is our fortress, our tower, the one to whom we run and hide when trouble comes. In Habakkuk, Jesus is the one who is our watchtower, who climbs to the top, scouting to see if any trouble is coming our way. In Zephaniah chapter 3, Jesus is the one who removes all possible judgment against us, past, present, future. In Haggai, Jesus is the one who restores our shattered dreams. In Zechariah, Jesus is our shepherd who was struck down for the sake of the sheep. And in Malachi, Jesus is the one, He's called the Son of Righteousness, and He sheltered us under His wings. See, every book